This program contains true stories of rescues. All of the 911 calls you will hear are real. Whenever possible, the actual people involved have helped us reconstruct the events as they happened. We begin down under, just outside South Auckland, New Zealand, as 32-year-old Gayleen Young was giving her daughter and two other young relatives a ride into town. Much of the footage in this story was taped as events unfolded on the evening of August 9th, 1990.
That night we were driving down the road to Manukau City to the shopping centre. And then I missed the turn-off, so I stopped.
About 10. Yeah, okay.
I was just dropping them off.
Okay, just over there. I'll see you then. Bye. Bye.
Among the girls was 12-year-old Shirley Young, Gayleen's only child. David Petera spotted her in the parking lot as he was leaving his car.
The kid yells out, "Mum, wait," you know. I took notice of it because I know the car is not supposed to sit out there. The flame just was instant, the minute it hit it. It was the car that blew up first. All the petrol spilling out of the tank. And I thought, the tank is going to go any minute. Oh.
381, multiple calls to car versus petrol tanker.
Rescue units with the Manukau Fire Station were immediately dispatched to the scene, including Station Officer Graham Haycock.
I said to my driver, "Where exactly is that corner?" And he said to me, "Graham, look straight ahead." And sure enough, there it was. It was a fire that just kept on going and going and going.
Senior firefighter Royd Kennedy was among the first rescue workers on the scene.
At this stage, you couldn't see the truck, you couldn't see a car. All there was a huge ball of fire. It was mind-blowing, it was just awesome.
With the help of the tanker's driver, David had found Gayleen and pulled her from the burning car.
She was just screaming her head off and she was crying. I'll never ever want to live through that again. Never ever.
We could only get within approximately 30 feet of the tanker because of the intensity of the heat.
There was a river of fuel on fire running into the shopping centre. While I was looking around, I found a woman in the car park lying there, very badly burnt.
All she said was, my baby's in the car." I assumed that the baby was dead. I grabbed Royd and said, "Come on." And we started towards the back of the tanker. The heat was becoming even greater.
The swirling smoke was down to ground level, hiding everything. And for a split second, I just looked at the fire. And instantly, I saw it, just for a second, a hand in the smoke. There was someone there, right under the tanker.
When we continue,
the big question was, how were we going to get her out? Whether we would get her out or alive was anyone's guess.
in a small town near Auckland, New Zealand, a semi carrying more than 8,700 gallons of gasoline had slammed into the rear of a car, leaving both vehicles in flames. Hidden by the swirling smoke and fire, 12-year-old Shirley Young was trapped beneath the burning wreckage of the tanker truck when she was spotted by firefighter Royd Kennedy.
Royd took off. He was heading straight into the fire.
In under the truck, there's this child crushed by a big wheel. I could feel her feet protruding from under the tyre where her limbs had been broken and doubled back. She was really scared. Mind you, so was I. But I let her know that I wasn't going to leave her, no matter what.
At that point, I'd lost sight of him. I thought I'd lost him. Next minute, Royd yelled out, "Cover me, Graham," which was the biggest relief I'd ever heard. He was still alive.
All of a sudden, fire just flashed through. I thought it was all over. I really did. And water suddenly beat the flames off us.
To give some protection to where Royd was in the wreckage, we had to move guys into a position where they were exposed to danger.
Divisional Officer Ray Warby was in charge at the scene.
Shirley was lucky because she was in the only part of that wreckage where any person could survive. It was being sheltered by the chassis and the trailer unit.
Among the more than 100 rescue workers who converged on the scene was paramedic Grant Pennycook.
The big question was, how were we going to get her out?
The decision was to raise the wheel assembly with the airbags.
And the water itself was just so freezing, it's unbelievable. They had tried to bring in a sheet to give us some protection. I was continually talking to her, keeping her going.
Have you ever been horse riding? When you get out of here, we're going to go horse riding.
The firefighters were roasting, but they didn't back off. They just stood their ground. I was so astounded at the tenacity of my men.
Keep it talking, Roy. Keep it talking. Come on, Shirley. Come on.
Time was ticking by.
She suddenly started to fade away, and she looked at me with big brown eyes, and she looked at me and said, "If I don't make it, tell my mother I love her." She just lay her head back and started to go unconscious. A resuscitator was passed in under the truck, and I started keeping her alive.
Okay, girl, keep it going. Stay with us.
Shirley had been trapped under the truck for more than 40 minutes in the intense heat and fumes.
Okay, let's have some air. Quick as you can. There she goes, Holly.
The the vehicle lifted slightly, 3 or 4 inches, but not enough to pull her out because she was crushed right down onto the road.
But we were then able to get a further lift by using a hydraulic ram.
I couldn't get out of there quick enough. She was away, which was an immense relief.
It's for me, sir. Hold on. Okay. Where's my EMV?
As soon as she was on that stretcher, she knew too that she was safe, finally, and she just drifted away.
Roy did what I hope any firefighter would have done. But I wouldn't ask any firefighter to do it. He heard a cry for help and he responded at extreme danger to himself.
I got home that night and I just cried. Yeah.
12-year-old Shirley Young had suffered second and third degree burns over 20% of her body. Both legs were badly broken, one so severely that it had to be amputated. She and her mother spent months in the hospital recovering from their injuries.
When Roy comes to get me, he said he was going to take me horse riding.
When did he tell you that?
When I was under the truck, I think.
And that's what you're looking forward to the most?
Yeah.
Right, now you gotta lift up yourself.
5 months after the accident, Royd kept his promise.
Here, hang on to the driving part.
When you stand there and the fire full of catch me.
Royd and Shirley have grown very close, but she remembers little of the night he saved her life.
It was hot. I think I was crying. And then Royd came in and he was just trying to calm me down. He was there for me when I needed him.
Okay, that's it. You're rocking and rolling. That's good. That's good movement.
All he saw was this little girl's hand, and he didn't think twice, he just went in. Everyone else that was there were heroes, but he was a bit more. Because if Shirley had to go, I don't think he would have left her. I think he would have given his life.
No, not you, Gully. That's the down under dribble.
I try to see her regularly. Whenever I go out that way, I'll stop in. Her and I went through a very special time under the truck. I'd give her heaps, tell her jokes, make her laugh.
He's a sort of a nutter.
It's a great relationship. She's like a daughter.
It was a perfect shot.
When she got out of hospital, that's it. She was out and about, even when she never had her leg. It didn't get her down. There's no way I could live without her. She's my pride and joy.
She started motoring, so you pulled her up. That's great. All right. That's cool.
Next,
I seen the little boy out there. Then I seen this log pop up. It didn't take me long to realize that it was an alligator.
Now look at me!
In many parts of the country, man lives side by side with untamed wildlife that can be dangerous. In the rural community of Refugio, Texas, a primitive, predatory animal still freely roams the banks of the Mission River. On August 2nd, 1991, 8-year-old Brandon Herndon and his 5-year-old sister were visiting their aunt, Vernell Waldrop. That afternoon, they decided to go swimming in Mission River, something they had done countless times before.
I made the kids wear a life jacket all the time out here. I wouldn't let them be in the water without it.
Aunt Nell, look at me. That's great.
Ashley was a little concerned. She wasn't ready to get in, but she had her life jacket on and she was sitting on the deck out there with me. Brandon was going to see if he could swim across the river.
Hey, Brandon, how you doing?
He was so proud of all that he had learned in his swimming lessons, and he was showing me how he could swim, and even though he had a life jacket on, he was going through the motions of what he had learned.
In the house next door lived Chris Stapleton and her husband.
Buddy was out on the porch barking.
What are you hollering at, baby? Will you be quiet?
I seen the little boy out there. Then I seen this log pop up. It didn't take me long to realize that it wasn't a log, that it was an alligator.
See it? No, look at me. See it? No, look at
It's an alligator. Get that boy out of there. Get that boy out of there. Stop that boy. Help!
I swam out to him. If the gator was going to take Brandon, he was going to have to take me with him because I wasn't going to give up.
Help! Bob, get your gun. There's an alligator with a kid in it, Bob. Help!
Bob Stapleton grabbed his .22 caliber rifle and rushed down to the riverbank.
All I could do was just aim, get ready, and set, because the alligator still had a hold of the kid.
The little boy started hitting him, and the alligator let go.
Hurry, Vernell!
I didn't think she'd ever get out there.
Before Vernell could reach him, the alligator grabbed Brandon again by the leg.
Help! Help! Be careful!
The gator actually pulled Brandon underwater.
I always heard that alligators took you under and drowned you, is the way they kill their prey.
About 6 foot before I got to Brandon, the gator had stopped attacking him.
Brandon, kick!
When he turned loose in the kid, and they got 10 or 15 foot from them, and not far.
All I knew is that we had to get back to the deck fast.
Once you shoot a gun, usually the alligator goes away. But this alligator didn't do that.
He's behind you, Bob. He's over there. He's over there, Bob.
Well, I shot him again.
Is he okay, Vernell?
He had a pretty good gash out of his arm, the inside of his arm, and then on his leg, both inside and out on the knee. The gator had the whole knee part in his mouth.
Vernell wrapped the wounds and alerted the hospital that she was bringing in a boy who'd been bitten by an alligator.
He was shaking and trembling, and he said, "Aunt Nell, am I going to die?" And I said, "No, darling, you're not going to die, but I'm going to take you to the hospital, and we're going to check these out, and you're going to be fine."
8-year-old Brandon Herndon was released from the hospital that same evening. 2 months have gone by, but his mother Sharon cannot forget.
I don't know exactly what saved him. Nobody can believe that he's still here. Brandon did tell me that he did think he was gonna die. And that's the first time to him that he'd ever been close to death like that.
I am proud of myself because I beat up an alligator.
I realized that the life preserver was keeping him from going down like the alligator wanted him to. Even though the little boy knows how to swim, if he hadn't had that life jacket on, he would have been in a world of trouble.
The report of an alligator attack surprised Game Warden Jay Guthrie.
You never expect an alligator to come up and bite. As a general rule, they're very non-aggressive. Our main fear is that as a result of this, people will go to killing them out of fear, and there's no need to do that. Just use a little common sense. That alligator's not going to bother you unless you corner it. And if there's a nest, stay away from it.
I'll never forget seeing his face and his eyes, how scared he was, and the fear on his face. I'll probably remember that for the rest of my life.
I will never, ever in my whole life to get back in the river until I'm 38 years old.
Step out of the car, please.